What we're going to do now is we are going to modify our animation blueprint to use ControlRig. And what ControlRig allows us to do is do direct bone manipulation on the character. So for example, we can move some of the legs, we can move the tail, we can do a lot of functions, a lot of calculations, and it all runs with good performance because it's all running as part of the animation pipeline. And what we need to do first is we need to create the ControlRig class that we're going to use within the animation blueprint. So to do that, tab back to the Scorpion test level. And what we're going to do is on the tutorial Scorpion mesh, we can right click on this, go to create, and this time we're going to select ControlRig. So this has created a ControlRig class called tutorial Scorpion mesh _ControlRig. Now I'm going to right click on this and rename it. This step's optional. I just don't want to cause confusion if you're opening the project and it already exists. So I'm going to call this tut Scorpion ControlRig. So now go back to the tab which is your Scorpion animation blueprint and right click anywhere in the graph. So make sure you're on the anim graph tab. Right click and search for ControlRig. And you can see this takes a source, which is some input pause, and then it passes out the modified version based on how this ControlRig modifies it. So we don't need a source, we can just use the default pause as it is from the skeletal mesh, but we're going to connect the output to the result. So now it will be outputting and playing whatever the ControlRig class is actually doing to affect this skeletal mesh. So we can compile. But now you'll see an error, and if you read under the compiler results, has no valid instance class to spawn. And the reason for that is we haven't told it to use the ControlRig class that we just created. So I'm going to click on this node, the ControlRig node, and on the details panel on the right, we can scroll down and you'll see a section called ControlRig with the option of ControlRig class. So for the ControlRig class, you want to select the ControlRig that you just created. So the one we just created is tut Scorpion ControlRig. Yours can be named different. So we're going to select the drop down and search for tut, and it's tut Scorpion ControlRig. Select that. And now when we compile, the error goes away and you'll see this path, because that shows us that the ControlRig node is operating and passing the result to the output. So compile and save. So far we've done a lot of work for absolutely no result and nothing has changed whatsoever. But what we're going to do next is we're going to modify our ControlRig class to actually make some changes to the skeletal mesh so we can see it working in the viewport.